This is Project 8 for EDM 310. Group members are Angela Gafford, Angel White, Christy Mason, and Mary Anderson.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Talk. This is a new show and it covers all of the latest and new tips, tools, and techniques that 21st century teachers use in the classroom, and we talk a lot about technology. But today we're going to be talking about a new book that we've all read, we've all kind of discussed. We think it's a really good inspirational book for teachers. It's by Rafi Esqui, and it's Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. Now, this title, I don't know. What do you think, ladies?
Well, this makes me think of one time when you were, remember that one time you got your hair done?
Yeah, weren't supposed to bring that back up again. But it makes me think about...
In our world, we do.
Yeah, it makes me think about this. But we've all read it. It really doesn't surround a lot of technology techniques. But, Angie, what did you think?
I thought it brought up being creative, which brings warmth to the classroom. He used art to incorporate not only the curriculum, but to introduce teamwork, friendship, and empathy among each other.
I think that was a good point because it kind of helped his team or his students kind of start to think of one another as not just classmates, but a family, teammates.
Yeah.
You know.
And I want to touch base a little bit on the way that he, the baseball games and how he took it. He took his children, his classrooms each year, and they all went to the Dodgers games, and he had them, and he made them root for both teams. To me, I'm thinking to myself, if you can take your classroom and you can do that, you can make a group of 12-year-old, 10-year-olds clap for two teams, and then bring them back to the school and help each other. What was this man doing? What did he do in this classroom?
Well, I think what he was doing with taking his students and teaching them to root for both teams was to show support, good teamwork, good morals. And it said in the book, one thing that really struck me that I think a lot of teachers will get out of this book is his classroom had its own environment. It had its own culture in there, like a family. And I think by teaching his students to root for both teams, he was teaching them to come together as a community and not judge, but be supportive of everyone. And that carried over in the classroom with some of his teaching techniques.
Well, page 125, this is the whole chapter on the sports or whatever. Put me in, coach is what it's called, but under playing correctly, he has goals. It says, on page 125, it says, goals are a key element of all instruction. In room 56, my goals for physical education are the following. And he just named things. They have a daily exercise. Students will exhibit outstanding sportsmanship at all times. The students will learn the value of teamwork. The students will apply lessons they learn from sports and other areas of their lives, and I think that's really what he was trying to focus on.
I think so too. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting, I don't know if any of you really like this, science was always one of my least favorite subjects because how many times did you have to open up a book, read the chapter, answer the questions, and that was it. That was all science was to you. But he really, this author takes on a hands-on approach with his students, and in a time that there's so little school funding, he came up with really creative ways to raise money and make science a hands-on activity. Did you guys get anything from that?
Yes.
I tell you what I got from it. Shh. We have to be really careful about how we, as teachers, collect money and get donations and things like that. And I think that the way that he came up with it, sending out the supply list and to where the wish list to where he built on year to year to year, and kept it for his classroom, and so that way each year different students got to use it, and then you just build on top and build on top. And he got, I think from the Delta Science unit, he got the used bits and pieces and put together the whole science project in a whole. I think was kind of a good idea.
Like earlier, whenever you were saying that you can, you don't have to just use it for science, you can use it for all of the
Right. I think that's a great tool, and I think it's a wonderful piece of advice to give to teachers. So many room moms want to know, what do you enjoy? You know, what kind of candy do you like? But if you just tell your parents at the beginning of the year, the best thing, the best gift you can give me, you know, are tools and resources to help me teach your children more effectively, I think you will have, you know, so many parents respond in a positive way and not mine. But one thing I wanted to ask you about, Angie, was I know that you're really focused on hands-on teaching. You really like the fact of, you know, kids getting in there and diving in, and that's one thing he said he did with the science projects as well as the art projects.
Yeah, he had hands-on material to teach his students, which made learning fun and exciting. And other students would come up to him, and you know, the students that were in his class, and you know, they were all eager to join room 56.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
56. And they said that you know, the other students said that his students seemed more engrossed with actual DNA instead of the TV show MTV.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Another thing I want to talk, Angel, let's touch base on this a little bit about how he was real into letting the kids fail.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like that was not to make it a big point or a big issue. Like he didn't want them to fail, but failure is good. I mean, how many people, you know, really stop to think that failure is a good thing? I mean, when you hear the word failure, it is what it is. It's just that. And to him, there's no. He has a great quote in here that I want to.
When he said that you should let the teachers define what failure is.
Exactly. And then he also has a quote that says, mistakes and their desires to help the kids feel good about themselves, never letting them go wrong or take a fall, is what like puts their walls up, and what not. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, don't you remember just on the news the other, it's been all over the national news for the past couple of weeks, this teacher that gave a commencement speech at the high school graduation told his students, none of you are special, none of you are phenomenal, you know, you came to school, you passed, that's what's required of you. Your parents have praised you, they think you're wonderful, but there's nothing great about you that defines you from you, it's what you do with your life moving forward.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
think
you.
that's what he is doing. It
Yeah.
sounds kind of harsh, but sometimes we learn best from our mistakes.
Right.
So one last thing we need to touch on, because we're fixing to have to go to break, is in the epilogue of this book, it was talking about how sometimes as teachers you get discouraged, and the young girl that came up to him years later that had succeeded. Do y'all remember that part?
Jeannie was her name.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
You want to take that? Anybody?
Well, just that she had written this. Let me get to this epilogue back here because
She was like in a play. And
yeah,
came up
she was
to
in all
him
these
and-
Shakespeare plays, and she was at Notre Dame, and how she has just gotten. Is she in theater? Is this what she does, or did she just say that she got her inspiration and her start and the way that she feels about herself from being in his plays in room 56?
It kind of goes along with whenever he was talking about appreciating the arts. So like he used plays and
Right.
arts, and he taught them lifelong lessons. Like they incorporated music in the arts, and they just helped them.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's not. It just says that she
She
wrote
said
it
it taught
out.
her time management. It taught her to be
A team player.
teamwork, and all that.
Here we go. I'm going to read this last paragraph right here of the of what she wrote, and then we'll wrap this up. No matter what else has happened anywhere in the world, all my troubles can be fixed in this safe haven. And I constantly retreated to it when I had family troubles. And even today, when I'm looking for a place where it's love and joy, where anger and hatred do not exist, I still retreat to room 56.
So basically, the whole thing is about making remember you said that, was it the environment of your classroom?
Mhm, and
making that a safe haven for
atmosphere.
a culture of its own. And I think we all agreed, we liked it. We thought we would give it a thumbs up. We think it's a wonderful tool for any teacher, a new teacher especially, someone who's been in the profession for a while and just needs a little boost to get their battery recharged, because we all kind of get in that rut sometimes. But one thing we would like to say as a group is I think he has wonderful theory, but I think there's ways he could incorporate more technology into this. And we were all talking later, we said like, we had a guest on last week that had flipped their classroom.
Right.
And using these ideas with technology, or apps on your iPad, like making the iBooks with his art and music classes. So
smart boards.
smart boards with activities. So that's another way I think you could build on the ideas from this book.
Great book, great book.
Great book.
Guess
reading.
what, everybody in the audience? Check
Yeah.
under your chair.
You
Don't
get
forget
one.
Okay, guys, listen. Coming up next, you don't want to turn that dial. If you think that pencils, paper, books should no longer be in the classroom, if you think that's a strange concept, we want you to stay tuned, because coming up next, we have Dr. John Strange from the University of South Alabama. He's going to be here explaining to us his philosophy for teaching new teachers 21st century techniques for use in the classroom. Stay tuned.
The resources used for Project 8 for EDM 310 were Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire by Rathi Esquith,